Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Are Tom and Ariana, obviously the hosts of this fine page, Tom and Ariana, and also the, what do you want to call us? Founders? Creators? Not amazing.
Amazing creators.
The creators of Lifestyle Builders, our new mentorship program for family-focused entrepreneurs that are trying to grow a business to support the lifestyle that they want. So this morning, Tom's sharing it to our community, so I will just keep talking while he's sharing.
There you go.
This morning, we just jumped on live to record a welcome video for our Lifestyle Builders in the training portal. So we said, hey, we're right here in the setup. We might as well go live and talk about some of the end of year goodness.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're knee deep in doing the end of year planning for our personal life and then our three businesses. But what's cool is that we've also been going through this activity with our Lifestyle Builders.
Yes.
So we had basically a 2-day event where we're walking them through.
Yeah, yesterday and today.
That's 2.
It is 2.
1, 2. Our daughter has this.
Very
our son
funny.
has this.
Very funny, man.
So we're going through this 2-day event where we're basically showing them the key things to do in the goal planning session, like what you should do at the end of the year, and then giving them time to go and execute on it and then come back and ask questions.
Yeah, we're calling it the goal mapping strategy sessions.
Yeah, because here's the big thing, and actually we'll get to some of the questions you guys had in a minute, but a lot of people struggle with just allocating time to do these things.
Yes, we actually had someone in our community say, how do I plan the time to plan?
Well, but it's so common. So many people run into this, and then what happens is that everything else takes priority, and then they never get this planning in place. And then, unfortunately, for a lot of people, it's like year after year, you get to the same time, and you're reflecting back, and you're like, man, I had all these big ambitions last year of what I wanted to do, and then the year just kind of got by, like, kids came up, family came up, life came up, and then it's like, here I am again a year later, and I haven't made the progress that I want to make.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I think it's tough because when you're in your business, you're working in your business, planning is working on your business. And that's one of the areas where a lot of entrepreneurs struggle, especially if you're the only one in it and you're responsible for doing it all. You can't outsource planning. You have to do that. So it's really a matter of making it a priority in your business to set aside that time to plan. Now, obviously, to go and spend hours on it might not be practical for you. Set those little 15-minute or half an hour chunks of time if you can. Then just go back and continue to reflect on the year, talk about the things that you want to do for the next year, fit it in where you can so that you get used to it. And then it won't be so hard to set aside that time to really be intentional with your plan.
Well, you just hit on the word I was going to say, intentional. So
people are going to get sick of hearing that word.
Good, because it's a word that you need to be sick of, because it's really about being intentional, and you can't be intentional unless you're clear on what you want to be intentional about. Far too many people just go about, like, they get up, they go about their day, they go about their week, they go about their year, just kind of in the swing of things, but not really thinking about, are the things that I'm doing actually contributing to the life I want to have and to the business I want to have? And I'll tell you, even though planning is sometimes one of the more difficult things that we do, especially when we got differing opinions on what's important or what we should do in the business or how we achieve it, the clarity and the ideas and the just different brainstorming and epiphany moments that we have, are amazing, and they're a huge contributor to our success with everything that we do.
Yeah, we usually come out of it with a lot of clarity, a lot of energy, and then just, I think that big sigh of relief because you get through it and you can now go and move on and do the next things. But I wanted to say, so I want to jump in and almost declare the month of December as the month of intention, because it's not just about the planning, and it's not just about the, I've got to set these big goals for 2018. It's also a season for most people to spend quality time with family and friends.
Absolutely.
So to almost be intentional about that too, and make sure that you're planning that time in to be with your family and friends. And it's not just business 24/7. It's taking the time out to, I know a lot of people like to go on vacation. A lot of people go and visit family for the holidays. Maybe you're a homebody like us and you just stay home the whole time. But just make that intention in your head to be present with your kids, to be present with your spouse, to enjoy this season and this time of year, so that when January hits, you can turn around and be like, all right, I'm ready to go in my business.
Well, and how do you get to this time of year where everything's so crazy and there's a lot going on and you can actually focus on it? Well, it really comes down to planning. I mean, we have three businesses. Well, I was going to say, we have 3 businesses, and one of them is very seasonal. It's a wine and liquor store. So this time of year, I mean, we make 2 to 3 times as much this month as we do
the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a crazy busy time for us, but we're able to have some relaxing time and have that family focus because we planned and put the right stuff in place prior to that.
Yeah, we planned ahead. And we set up systems.
So we had we actually
had a couple great questions yesterday.
We put some questions up in our Family Entrepreneur Life community. So if you're not in there and you're a family-focused entrepreneur, go to familyentrepreneurlife.com and it'll redirect you over. But we put up a question really asking people, what are your biggest struggles or challenges when it comes to planning? So I just want to call out a couple of those, and we'll discuss and kind of share our perspective and how you guys can overcome some of these challenges.
Yeah.
So the first one, Steven says, how can you set realistic financial goals? What methods do you use to figure out what the number is? And this one comes up all the time.
Tom's a numbers guy, so he really likes this question.
Yeah, well, so a couple things here, just some quick thoughts. One, we always recommend you look at your personal goals first and then your business goals second. And what that's going to allow you to do is that, let's say that next year you want to go on 2 family trips, you want to play more golf, and you want to buy a new car. Well, you can figure out what is that going to cost you, and then how is that going to change your personal finances, and let's say how much more money you got to bring in. Once you figure that out, then when you're setting business goals, you can say, okay, well, what else does my business have to do to enable the life and the impact and any other goals that I have? So then it makes it easier to say, do I have to grow my business 2 times as big? Do I have to only grow it 5% more? So it'll let you be a lot more intentional with your business goal planning because you make sure that it fits into the life that you're looking to build.
Yeah, and I want to call out one of our lifestyle builders who's also in Family Entrepreneur Life, Christy Bender, who is not your average CPA. She does all of her metrics. She counts by vacations because she loves vacations. So that's a clever way for her when she's looking at her financial goals to say, well, that right there, if I hit that goal, that's an extra vacation. Or, well, maybe I need to drop down a vacation so that I don't have to work so hard because, I just don't want to have to put in all those extra hours. So I think that's a really clever way to count your financial goal metrics.
Well, I was going to say, that's a very important thing, too, because people always think it's about growing your business. And in a lot of cases, you might have a business that's the right size for you. Mm-hmm. So don't feel like you got to grow your business. What you may be looking for is maybe you maintain your business, but you're actually buying some of your time back by putting processes and systems in place so that you keep the same amount of money, or maybe you make a little less money in revenue, but you actually make more overall and you have more time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
we got Tammy Fink says, I love that, by vacation.
I know.
Counting by vacation.
And Christy does it so well. She's got pictures on her wall.
She's actually leaving tomorrow for I think she shared a post in the group today. She actually is a big fisher, and she shared like a gallery of all of the fishing trips she's taken and the fish she's caught into the Family Entrepreneur Life. So she's got some really cool vacation pictures. All of us aspire and have major FOMO of her vacation pictures. All
right, so next up we got Michael. Michael says, basically, I'm scared to start my business. I've got some stuff going on in my personal life that's taking me away from being able to focus on my business. And then, basically, so what do I do? And then, should I start an email list now, even though I'm not going to be able to get back to it for months? And so my thoughts on this are, take care of your family and take care of your personal stuff first. Mm-hmm. 1, that's the most important. But 2, if you're trying to start a business is difficult.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to start a business while you're trying to take care of your personal and family life, neither is going to get your full attention, and it's going to be more challenging and be more difficult.
Stress, I mean, will be 10 times as bad as if you were just starting a business and your family life was all good.
Yep.
So I think, definitely don't add any stress on, because trying to do the business is going to make you stressed out that the business isn't working the way you want it to. And then that's going to make you more stressed out, and you're going to get that resentment from, oh my gosh, my family is keeping me from starting the business, and it'll just snowball from there. So definitely, I mean, keep the ideas, keep the planning. Like, if you've got everything in your head, there's no reason you can't start recording all that down and keeping track of all those things that you want to do, and that you've got these ideas and these great systems you want to set up, or processes and all that. But as Tom said, there's no reason you can't just start your wait list now. You can keep talking to people about it. You can keep doing the client research, the market research, but wait to start until you've got your home stuff at a good point, so that you've got a good foundation to start the business off of.
Yeah, and the final thing is, we part of the goal planning is we take the annual goals and we break them into 90-day chunks or quarters. So what you might be able to do is say, okay, Q1, I'm going to focus on getting my personal stuff kind of all taken care of and figured out, so that's off my plate. And then I still have Q2, Q3, and Q4 to focus on the business. Mm-hmm. So in the scheme of things, it's not that much time, or it's not that much of a delay, but it's going to make everything else so much easier.
Yeah, I think our next question was from Kimberly, and she wanted to know how to actually make the time to sit down and break down the goals and put them on the calendar. So we hit on that a little bit at the beginning of the live, but it's really being intentional with setting that time in your calendar. Yep. So you've got a lot of other things going on, and it's very easy, if the planning is looked at as the lowest priority, to just kind of brush it off and put it out, oh, I'll do it next week, or oh, I'll do it the week after. If you can actually look at your calendar and say, what are the top urgent items that I have to do in my business, and what are some of the things that I could maybe set aside because they're not as important, and I can use that time for planning. So if you've taken the Plan with Purpose course, go ahead and set some time aside in your calendar and actually walk through some of those exercises to break down those goals, and put the time on the calendar for those actions that you come out with of, I have this goal, I need to do these 5 things to hit that goal. All right, I'm going to actually put those in my calendar when I need to do them. Yeah,
I mean, you hit it. It's putting it in the calendar so that when that time comes, you do it.
And being good with yourself about doing what comes up on the calendar. Because I know sometimes it's like, well, I don't need to do that. I'm busy doing this right now.
Yeah.
If it comes up, saying, okay, it's my time to do the plan.
Well, but if you're a person like that can't just, you don't have that self-discipline maybe, partner with somebody. Yeah. Have somebody else do it too. I mean, like we've been talking about us for next year, and really our focus for next year is put us first.
Yep.
And one of the things that we want to do is, get back to the gym and, really focus on getting back into shape the way that we used to be. So one of the ways we're going to do it is, guess what? We're going to go to the gym together. So if she's feeling like she's not going to do it, well, I'm going to be her accountability partner and pull her in.
Yep.
So you might, it may or may not be your spouse that's the right person for that, but find somebody else in this community, find somebody else in your network and say, hey, let's allocate some time to do planning together. I'll help you on yours. You can help me on mine. And that way we'll hold each other accountable.
Yep.
What else do we got? Biggest challenge is consistent follow through and staying focused enough to get everything I need to done. And that's what Sandy had said. So yeah, that's probably the other biggest one. One is finding time to do it. And then
the next is
actually being able to follow through.
Yep.
So one of the big things that we always look at with people is say, ask yourself the question, why do you struggle following through? Mm-hmm. Because the answer is going to be different depending on what the reason is for you. But some of the common things that we find, first one is not having an accountability system or support structure in place.
Yeah.
So one of the big things that we do with our lifestyle builders is actually have them declare what they're going to do, and then we check in and make sure that they're doing those. Right? So just sometimes displaying that publicly or letting somebody else know that you're going to do something, then you're like, oh, crap, I know I've got to finish this.
I told them I was going to do it. I better do it.
Yeah, with our coaching clients, for example, we'll typically do like a weekly coaching call, and they'll often tell me that, hey, Tom, last night I was up finishing everything else because I didn't want to get on this call and tell you I didn't get it done. So if that's what works for you, like go ahead and set that up. But really just think about what is it that will help you be successful with that.
Another way to do it is to give yourself a rewards-based system.
Yeah.
So if you've got something you really want, or maybe you really want to take a day off, or you want to go on a day trip somewhere or do something, setting those focused goals for yourself and saying, all right, I can't do that thing until I get all of these things done. And using it as, I mean, that's how we reward kids,
I was
right?
just going to say, we're going through and potty training our son right now, and he's big into these little, like, squishy grocery gang things. And so to get him to do that, we set the grocery gang up on top of the TV and have his potty in front of it.
Bribery.
And, yeah, it's like, listen, you do this, you get that. Like, very simple. Works for kids and works for us too.
Yeah. I think we just forget that, that rewards-based system can really still work for us as adults. And you can use it consistently to, okay, every week, at the end of the week, I'm going to go meet somebody for lunch, but only if I've gotten all my stuff done. So, setting those goals for yourself to get those done and then rewarding yourself. Oh, Michael's there. Hi, Michael.
Oh, hey, Michael. So we answered your question earlier if you didn't see it, so we'll go back and tag you. And then the final question we had was from Brandon, and along the same lines, big challenge was actually sitting down and making the plans. And then it sounds like for him that he's got a catering business that he's trying to start, some of the financial goals and making sure that the numbers he sets is realistic. And then he also said, I really want to call out, what's he say here? I get caught up in seeing people on social media saying how much they make a month, and I want to take part in that. This is a huge one. Yeah. Especially on social media, you're going to see a bunch of people doing different things with their business. And it's important to realize a couple things. One, everything you see on social media isn't necessarily the reality.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt.
People are going to show you the stuff that really goes good, but very few people are going to tell you all the challenges to get there, or even the fact that they're facing challenges now.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that their numbers are really their numbers.
Absolutely.
Say, I hate to say this, but a lot of people out there fudge the numbers because they want to look good on social media. So it's not always that they're even making that much money. They could be, rounding up a little bit on those.
Well, and even with that, if someone says they have a six-figure business, like we did a whole blog post on this.
Yeah, six figures could be anywhere from $100,000 a year to $999,000 a year.
Well, and the six-figure business, is it revenue or is it the profit they actually take home?
That's the big question.
So, somebody can make $100,000 this year, but after their expenses, after their taxes, after everything else comes out, they might only have $20,000 left. Yeah. Now, that's not to criticize someone like that, but it's just to realize that $100,000 is very different if it's just your revenue compared to actually what you're bringing home.
Yeah.
But
definitely don't compare yourself to other businesses because you don't know the story behind it all, and it doesn't help you to compare yourself to them because they might be further along in their journey than you are.
Yep.
So that just, instead of beating yourself down and saying, I should be doing what they're doing, it's really looking at where you are and how far you've come, and then just setting those goals for yourself to say, okay, well, I see that person is doing that. That's motivational for me because I know that I can get there.
Absolutely.
At some point. So looking at how you can set your goals to say, I want to get where that person is. How do I do that? And how do I change what I'm doing now so that I can move in that direction? Wow, I get a high five. Woo.
Yeah, that was solid. That's the thing. Use it as inspiration and motivation, but then really get focused on what you want to achieve and then what you got to do to get there.
Yeah.
Because there's people that we see all the time that just sit on social media and watch other people and then think about, well, why haven't I gotten there? What you don't see is what they're doing behind the scenes to make sure that they're building that business that supports their life.
Yeah, it's not easy. Everyone likes to make it look easy on social media because that's kind of part of what social media is. Everything's picture perfect. No one posts pictures of their dirty laundry piles. They post pictures of their beautifully clean house. But the reality is that somewhere else their house is probably a mess.
Well, I was gonna
you
say,
don't see that part.
There was a web page or a picture one time.
No, it was an ad.
Yeah.
It was one of the food ads or something, and it showed you this picture perfect kitchen, and then if you did the 360 rotation, it rotated around, and the whole rest of the kitchen was a huge mess.
Well,
but they were making a point of you're only seeing this little angle, this little chunk that I chose to show you. you don't know what the rest of it looks like until you get to spin around and see. So I thought that was a really cool ad.
Well, we'll legit tell you guys right now, our bookshelves right
if we
here,
could do a 360 pan
they
of our
used
basement.
to be completely filled with books. As we set this area up to make videos for you guys, we had to remove a lot of the books. Guess where they are? They're sitting on the other side of this and just stacked
right over there.
We don't have anywhere to put them
in a huge, messy pile of chaos.
So just know that what you see literally isn't the full picture, and don't focus too much on what other people have. Focus on what's important to you and what you got to do to get there.
Yeah. All right. So I feel like we went on a really huge tangent.
We did, but so those were the questions. Hopefully going through this has helped you guys. We actually got to jump into lifestyle builders because we're helping them with their second day of goal planning now. But if there's any other question you guys have, leave them down below on this video.
Yeah, and tag
post them
us
up in the group. Yep, and we'll do our best to kind of help you guys out and give you guidance on this.
All right. We'll see you guys Friday for the Tom and Ariana show.
Tom and Ariana show.
Bye.